Hi everybody, today I'm gonna show you 2 quick and easy ways to make rosemary oil for hair growth. Both methods will help you get your rosemary oil in less than 2 days. They're perfect for those who don't have the patience to let their rosemary macerate for several weeks before using it. To make this oil, of course, you'll need rosemary leaves. I bought these here in Sweden and they're a bit different from the rosemary we get in the Caribbean. Sweden's cooler climate with less intense sunlight and shorter growing seasons make the rosemary softer and greener, even in the stems. In the Caribbean, where it's hot and sunny, condition rosemary absolutely loves, the plant develops thicker, woodier stems and tougher leaves. So the same species can change in texture depending on how much sun, heat, and stress it's exposed to. If you want to learn how to make rosemary oil the traditional Caribbean way, check out my other video. It's linked in the description below. Here, I'm just trimming off the roots and any dead leaves. Then I'm cutting the rosemary into smaller pieces to help it release its essence more easily. I'm using scissors, but if you have a mortar and pestle, definitely use that. It's one of the best ways to crush the leaves and release more of the beneficial compounds into the oil. As you can see, I'm putting the rosemary leaves directly into the pan because I have to remove their moisture. I'm using coconut oil as my carrier oil to extract all the rosemary goodness and create our infusion. Since I'm in Sweden and it's a little cold, my coconut oil is solid, so we'll need to heat it up. I'm doing all this mixing, but it's not really necessary. I'm just doing it while I wait for my pan to heat up. I'm gently heating the mixture for about 5 minutes, just enough to melt the coconut oil and remove moisture from the leaves. This step is important, especially when using fresh rosemary, because moisture can affect the quality of your oil. Now that my coconut oil has fully melted and I removed most of the moisture from the leaves, I'm gonna put my pan aside and wait for the mixture to cool down. This is how the mixture looks like after 1 hour. As you can see, the oil is becoming more viscous and will eventually solidify. I'm gonna put everything into a glass jar. You can see the oil has a slight green tint. That's a good sign. 3 hours later, you can clearly see that the oil is starting to solidify. Therefore, we will have to heat it up again. That's really the inconvenience when you live in a cold area and want to use coconut oil for your DIYs. This time, I'm gonna use the double boiler method. If you live in a cooler climate like Sweden, you don't have to use coconut oil. You can use olive oil, jojoba oil, or grapeseed oil. As I said before, I put the rosemary leaves directly into the pan as my first step to remove the moisture from the leaves. This step is also important to remove any bacteria or microbes from my leaves. I personally love using coconut oil because it's more affordable, it smells good, and it's very efficient at extracting different plant compounds. Of course, it's also very beneficial for the skin and hair. I've made a video about how to make coconut oil from scratch, so don't hesitate to check it out. To continue to extract as much rosemary essence as possible, I will let my jar sit in a double boiler or just hot water on medium heat for about 2 hours. Je laisse à une température décente pour ne pas que l'huile se solidifie, tout simplement. So yeah, I put it around like 2 at 3, but you know it has until 5. So I put it at 3, and then when it starts to boil, I just like switch off. Once the infusion is done, let it cool down to room temperature. Then pour the rosemary oil into a new glass jar using a strainer or a tissue filter to separate it from the leaves. You can use this quick method if you don't have much time or equipment. Of course, you get slightly better result if you use a liquid oil, a mortar and pestle, and let the mixture sit for a few weeks. But this version works great when you want results fast. This is how our rosemary oil looks like. It's not very concentrated, but it still works. Again, this first way of making rosemary oil is if you don't have enough material, like a blender for example, but want to get your rosemary oil the same day. Now, let's move on to the second method, using a blender. This technique is even more efficient and produces a stronger rosemary oil the same day. Take the equivalent of 2 rosemary branches and put everything in a blender. Then you're gonna add a few tablespoons of coconut oil and blend everything well. Blending helps break down the leaves completely, allowing the oil to absorb more of the rosemary's active compounds. Rosemary oil has been scientifically shown to support hair growth and scalp health in several ways. It improves blood circulation in the scalp, bringing more oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicles. It also contains powerful bioactive compounds like rosmarinic acid, carnosic acid, and cineol that have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. These help protect follicle cells from oxidative stress, calm scalp irritation, and keep the scalp clean and balanced. When infused in a carrier oil like coconut oil, these molecules are stabilized and absorbed more effectively, helping to reduce hair thinning and promote thicker, healthier hair over time. Once blended, pour the mixture into a saucepan and heat it gently on low heat. As you can see, I removed the base of my blender to extract as much of the mixture as possible. I don't like to waste too much product during the process, so I'm scraping everything I can from the bottom of the blender. This is what my mixture looks like in the pan. Again, the reason I apply heat here is because the goal is to obtain our rosemary oil the same day. I'm adding 2 more big tablespoons of coconut oil. Using heat is not necessarily a bad thing. It can actually increase the concentration of some very valuable nutrients in your oil. You just need to know how to control the temperature and use the appropriate oil. You can start to heat your oil on medium-low heat. Here, I start around 4. Then when it starts bubbling, you can lower the heat to 3 or 2. Let your mixture simmer for no more than 10 minutes. Make sure you mix well from time to time. Now it's time to remove the pan from the heat. I'm gonna let my mixture sit for about 1 to 2 hours. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put my oil in a glass jar using a filter bag to separate the oils from the residues. I also make sure to really squeeze the residues to extract as much oil as possible. And voila, our oil is ready. Look at that beautiful dark green color. That's exactly what we want. I find this method so much more effective, so if you have a blender, definitely use it. This is how the residues look like. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you're planning to use rosemary oil for your hair. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.